this is Ed from Musical Lessons. American rock band the Goo Goo Dolls recorded Iris for the soundtrack of the 1998 film City of Angels. The tune was later included on their sixth studio album called Dizzy Up and the Girl. And Iris has contributed largely to the band's success. The song was one of the biggest hits of the 90s. It was a huge crossover hit, and probably the biggest crossover hit of all time. Now you can find out a little bit more about the tune by checking out the Wikipedia link that's included in the blog article that I encourage you to check out. There's also a YouTube link for the video. There's also a link to the tab which includes the lyrics and the chords. However, I did put a chord chart together, and I encourage you to check out that chord chart because we had to take a few liberties in how we approached creating an easy guitar arrangement for this tune. Now, also in that post, there is song specs where you'll get the writer's credits, you'll get tempo markings, the chords that are included in this tune, plus the techniques that we'll be using. And there's a list of the playing tips that I'm going to walk you through in the video, but you can check them out in greater detail in the blog post. So grab your guitar, and I'll see you back here in a second. Iris is a soulful acoustic number, and we can use the acoustic guitars as a template for the rhythmic structure that we're gonna copy. However, the tune itself has a very unorthodox tuning. The tuning doesn't even have a name for it. There's just a ton of open D strings. So you have these D drums throughout. There's a mandolin that's included in the intro and instrumental parts of the tune. There's just a lot of things to consider when trying to recreate this tune in a one guitar setting. The other issue that we have is the changing time signature. It goes from 4 to 3, then from 3 to 4, and it makes things a little bit awkward. So we kind of stripped all of that down and created a one guitar arrangement that you can play in standard tuning. And we're going to approach it from that standpoint. All right, so I'm going to take you through the chords and the strumming pattern in a second. We're going to begin with the chords in this tune, and we're in the key of B minor. We're going to be playing first position chords, but there is no open first position B minor. We have to use the movable version, which has a bar here on the second fret from the 5th down to the 1st string. My fingertip is muting the 6th string. Then my second finger's on the 2nd string 3rd fret. My 3rd and 4th fingers are on the 4th and 3rd strings at the 4th fret, and that's your B minor. The next chord is a B sus2, which we keep this fingering and we just lift our middle finger to create that suspended chord. That's followed by a G chord. Now, I prefer using a 4-finger G chord. However, in this tune, I am using like a 3-finger version where I'm not using my 1st finger and the pad of my 2nd finger is muting that 5th string. Then the last 3 chords are garden variety open string chords. Your D, your E minor, and your A. However, you can play this A like I'm doing here, or you can use a bar chord version, which I tend to prefer, especially for fast chord changes and the more percussive style strumming that we're going to be doing in this tune. Alright, so review those chords, come on back and we'll go over the strumming patterns. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the strumming patterns just using the B minor chord. And basically, we're in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where the pulse is really falling on the 1 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because you hear in those 2 accents, we feel it in 2. And so we're going to break them up into the 6 beats into 2 groups of 3. And it's boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka, chicka. Bass is the boom, and the chords are the chicka chickas. And the chick is a down strum, and the is an up strum. Okay, so you want to hit, on the accent, you want to hit the boom, and then you fill in with the chords on the chicka chicka. So it's bass, down, up, bass, down, up, and you hit the bass with a down strum. That's the technique. And you just walk it through the chords. So we're going to break down the chord progression for each section of the tune when we come back. I've broken down the intro into a 2-bar chord riff, where for the first measure, on the 1, 2, 3, you're going to play the B minor, on the 4, 5, 6, the B sus2, and then you get a full measure of G. And that's going to repeat. So we just do the boom chicka chicka. And you notice I use a bit of a pulsing technique. I will break up the bass notes so that it doesn't sound so muddy, so that the rhythm is a little bit tighter. So that's why you'll see my fingers bounce and pulse. Pulsing is a technique where you don't let go of the chord, you just stop squeezing it. So for example, for the B minor, without muting with my left hand, I can stop the chord from ringing. And that's it. So the boom chicka and the pulsing, and you're all set with your techniques. All you have to do is walk them through the chord progression. For the verse, it's 4 measures. It's 2-bar chord riffs. Okay, so the first chord riff is 1, 2, 3, beats 1, 2, and 3, gets a D chord, beats 4, 5, and 6, E minor, full measure of G. The second chord riff is beats 1, 2, and 3, gets B minor, beats 4, 5, and 6, A, and then a full measure of G. And then it just repeats again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it repeats. And all you have to do is apply your strumming pattern to it. For the chorus, it's the same 2-bar chord riff over and over again. B minor to A to G. Okay, so beats 1, 2, and 3, B minor, beats 4, 5, and 6, A, and a full measure of G. And then you just repeat that cycle throughout the chorus. So apply your strumming pattern to that, and you're all set. The instrumental section of this tune. There's a lot of things to consider here. I'll give you the easy way first. You can simply continue with the chorus. B minor, A to G. And just play that throughout. If there's 2 guitar players or another instrumentalist, they can solo over that, or you can just repeat that cycle around and around and then come back into the chorus, and you won't get lost, you won't have any problems. However, they do hint at some tonalities here that I've broken down for you. Again, please check out the chart that's included in the blog post. Okay, we're talking about 2-bar chord riffs. The first part is B minor, B over A. So what I'm doing is I'm going to lift my first finger and I'm going to just move it to the first string so that I'm not playing the bar. So I go from the B minor to the A. It gives you a little bit of motion to the D. And And that's followed again with the B minor to the B minor over A to G. And you'll hear that that's how they break into the instrumental section. And that repeats a couple of times, and then it switches to a B minor, B sus 2 to the G, which is how we based our intro. So it switches to that progression and it repeats that a couple of times. Then it does a variation of that with B minor to the B over A to the G again. Again, it seems a little confusing. If you're playing with another guitar player, you should really consider this section first. Discuss how you're going to approach this section. Again, as I preface this, I would suggest if you're playing with other musicians, then just strip it down to the B minor, A to G, chord riff, and you'll be all set. If you do want to change textures, you want to change some colors, follow the arrangement that I created for you. Again, please go to the blog post and see the chord chart there, and you'll be fine. Thank you for checking out this lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning Iris. I certainly enjoyed preparing the lesson for you. If you like this type of music, I encourage you to check out some other bands, some other alternative rock bands, and the crossover bands as well, because this was a huge crossover hit. So fortunately, with today's technology, all you have to do is put in the tune and hit radio on your favorite music app, and it'll come up with other tunes that are like it, so you can find new artists. They might inspire you and motivate your music. All right, thanks for hanging with me. I'll see you next time.